Hello and welcome to Culture Bump. My name is Dixon George, critic, writer, sock entrepreneur, and I'm ready to pump our culture for all it's worth. This episode of the Culture Bump podcast is brought to you by Socktown.com, a website dedicated to all your sock needs. Do you get confused between calf length and mid-calf length socks? With 24-hour online help from our highly trained experienced sock experts, you will never leave the house with event inappropriate socks again. Socktown.com. We do socks. In this inaugural episode of Culture Bump, we will be discussing the language of bards, sonneteers, and for some reason these days, advertisers. I'm talking, of course, of poetry. 'Tis life, 'tis truth, a grand adventure. My heart does throb for an indenture. Thou face ablaze across mine eyes, a raging fire for love that dies. That was an extract, as I'm sure you'll know, from Love's True and Bleak by the great Baroque poet Ted Blowhill. The poem continues for another 86 stanzas and is Blowhill's only surviving work after his house was melted. This lone poem had been kept in a box fashioned from rabbit's teeth. If his house had been similarly constructed, he would no doubt be rated among masters such as Johannes in Cheshire and Stephen Crumble. But alas, he would only live in buildings made of wax, as he believed all other building materials to be instruments of the devil. We only know this because he wrote notes in the corners of his poem. One such note reads, "Stone peddler arrived today, I threw water over him. He should die of dysentery by the end of the summer." Joining me today is poetry expert Bill Stormchaser. Bill studied at the Tadley College of Experimental Arts under the auspicious Dean Halford Mint, who sadly went missing 3 years ago. Bill did his thesis on Blowhill at the behest of Dean Mint, and considering how little is known about him, you can probably imagine how incredibly hard that must have been. Many scholars over the years have tried and failed to grasp the complicated ins and outs of Blowhill's life, but Stormchaser spent the 2 years immediately following his graduation alone in his flat with just Love's True and Bleak for company, surviving on just dried pot noodles and cold tap water. This was followed by a 6-month stint in the Tatley Mental Health Unit after he was found in the town centre wearing nothing but a candle and screaming the word mince. He now tours the country, lecturing on Blowhill's influence on modern society. Today I will be asking him about all that and more, including how it feels to be finally publishing his debut collection of poems via his own publishing house, Mint Must Die. He's not here. What do you mean he's not here? We only have the studio for 5 more minutes. There's a little bit of a hostage situation. A hostage situation? Oh, can't we get him on the phone? He's kind of on the phone to the hostage negotiator. Oh, so the negotiator gets to talk to him. They're not even recording a podcast. Do you want to just go home? Don't worry, I'm a professional. I'll work around it. That acting diploma from Blenheim Hells won't go to waste. Do the sting again. Hello, Bill, and welcome to Culture Pump. Pleasure to be here. And may I say, it is an honour to me. Oh, please, the honour is all mine. First of all, I'd like to ask you about how you discovered Blowhill. Well, as with most people, my introduction was through 80s children's programme, Rhyme House, presented by Willie Bedford. That is a blast from the past. Now, Willie always closed the show with a classic poem. This is after the usual children's poets had their turn. Dave Farthing, Sally Huff, Mervyn Stoat. You know the ones. But Willie loved to introduce us to the classics. And one day, I think it was Series 2, Episode 99, because, of course, each series had 200 episodes in those days, all filmed in the same week. Many died in the process. Yes, I remember. A lot of episodes were filled with dramatic pauses to fill time. One episode, it would have been towards the end of the run, I'm sure Willie fell asleep between stanzas. The producers thought he had died. I wouldn't be surprised if he did pass away for a moment or two. He was 90 at that point. Anyway, one day he chose to read Love's True and Bleak. Not all 86 stanzas, mind, just 2 from the slightly more child-friendly section in the middle. Oh, yes, you wouldn't want You wouldn't want to read the bit about the turtle in the chambermaid on daytime TV. Quite. But if I may, I would like to read the 2 stanzas that inspired me that day. "'Twas many years, a heart asleep, the world she kept inside so deep. No stars thou see could shine so bright as her mind did on that fateful night, when love's true bleak and rotten found a place upon that stormy ground." Powerful stuff. Powerful. Powerful stuff. Powerful indeed. So powerful. Yes, it caught a part of my soul that afternoon.
Stormchaser's here.
How can he be here? I thought he was...
Just wrap it up.
Yeah, okay, I'll wrap it up. Thank you, Bill Stormchaser. My pleasure. This has been a Juniper production produced by Harry Crouch, edited by Senegal, and presented by me, Dixon George. Join us next time on the Culture Pump podcast when I'll be talking to Meredith Hockley about her role in the new West End production of Brian's Finger.
Let me in. I brought a special guest, Dixon. Say hello, Mint.
Oh God, call the police, Harry. For God's sake. Harry. Harry. Open up.
I want to talk about Blowhill.
This episode was brought to you by Socktown.com, keeping your feet warm through your ears. No, that's not the tagline, is it? We do socks. Thank you for listening to this episode of Culture Pump. It was written and performed by me, Mark Granger. The intro music and outro music was written and performed by me as well. And all the sound effects I couldn't do, I found at zapsplat.com. Oh yeah, and the music you can probably hear underneath this now is the same music I used for the advert. The advert thing was found at podsummit.com. It's called Splash in Memory. They made a load of these things for podcasts, and it's worth having a look. If you liked it, please do subscribe, apparently, and rate it and whatever. If you didn't like it, just keep it to yourself.